Welcome! Today, let's get right into it, talking about expatting and the best products that you need for your expat adventure. If you don't know already, I have been an expat for about 13 years and I have expatted to 4 different countries. Expat, of course, means expatriate, and it is where you move from your own home country to another one to live. I lived in the UK, Spain, Thailand, and of course now Ireland, and I'm from the States. So I definitely know a thing or two about what it takes to live in a different country and what's important, what you need, what I've learned along the way. So let's get straight into it. The first tip that I have is to keep your essential toiletries. So that could be anything from your body wash to toilet roll. This is dependent on the country that you go to, but the reason that these are on the list, I'm going to give you a couple. Yes, we live in a very digital world and we have access globally through the internet. And so you would think, oh, okay, I go live somewhere else. Of course, you can try new things when you get somewhere. Possibly you can order, but it's not always true that you'll be able to get something that is essential for your own routine, your own way of life. You will learn new things when you reach your new destination. You'll try new things and maybe you'll find a different product, and that's fine. But the reason you want to go stacked up with what you need is because it takes time to develop the skills for living in the new place that you're in. So you might go, and if you're a curly girl like me and you move somewhere and you think, oh yeah, I'll just try some things, and you're like, I can't find a shop that has any products for my hair, then you're kind of SOL for a longer time than you need to be. So when I moved to Thailand, I didn't bring any products with me and I really struggled. Not only could I not find anything for the first couple months, but ordering something from abroad and getting it shipped to me was so expensive when it came to import tax and just getting it to where I was staying. Definitely learned my lesson. And so when I moved to the places after, I kept that in mind and it really helped. Of course, it doesn't mean pack the whole of everything in the kitchen sink, but really narrow down what's essential for you and your routine and bring it with you enough for the first few months of your new adventure. I threw toilet paper in there because I also did go to a country where it was a little different, the type of toilet paper, because the culture is different. I personally like bamboo toilet paper. So if you're anything like that and you have any kind of specialty things that you use that are different even from the country that you're living in now, bring enough of those for the first few months. The next thing on this list is a travel adapter, something like this. This one's really perfect. I have about 3 of these. You can use it for pretty much any country imaginable. So it has a lock and an unlock, and if I was in the States or anywhere equivalent, I can use that. And then there's one for Europe, and the front part, you can put any plugs in there and you're good to go. Not everywhere that you go will have a universal one. It's important to get this where you are living right now and bring it so that you are absolutely sorted. These are really expensive when you need them most. So it's best to order these beforehand and have 2 or 3 when you reach your new country of choice. Next on the list is a first aid kit. This is something that is very easy to get in most countries. You can go to a pharmacy, a chemist, and you can get the things that you need. But the reason why it's good to bring this beforehand is because there are things that you cannot account for when you are traveling. And you might first get somewhere and have no access to a chemist, and you need a Band-Aid, or you need some ointment for a cut or a wrap or something like that. It's really important to have this little kit to start you off and you'll be sorted. Again, remember that when you are expat lifing, it's crazy in the beginning. The first few months are not settled at all. You're in a new place. You're going through all of these new emotions, new smells, new foods, new sights. So things are not going to be normal. And if you don't take these things in consideration, you're going to have a more complicated time. And that's what I don't want for you. I want you to learn from all of the complications that I went through in the places that I lived and just have a very smooth transition. Get a first aid kit. The next on this list is not a product, but I have to say this and I have to make sure you know to do this, and that is digital copies of everything that's important. So maybe you have a residence card in the new country that you're going to, or you're going to get a residence card, or you have a temporary visa or whatever it is, and you have that document. Make sure you have a photograph of that document, and that is saved in your phone and in the cloud somewhere, because you never know what's going to happen. A little plug for you. I'm not sponsored by them or have any association, but pCloud is a very secure and great way to keep all of your documents. So I suppose there's a digital product for you. Super important. Don't leave that one out. Next on this list is a multi-purpose tool. So something along the lines of a Swiss Army knife, yes, is handy, but what I like is something that kind of has everything on it. So you might have a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead like this, something that has everything in it so that if anything happens in the new house that you're at, if there's anything that you need, you are sorted. Remember as well that many times when we travel to a new country, we're not allowed everything in the kitchen sink. You're not going to be able to bring all of your kitchen knives and all of your toolbox. But if you have something handy or one of those all-in-ones, you'll be able to bring it and it is going to really benefit you. I cannot tell you how many times when Nick and I moved to a new country and he just thought that I was silly for having something like that. But anytime we were somewhere new and we couldn't find what we needed, I'm like, I'm sorted, and you need to be sorted too. Get yourself a little tool, all-in-one type of situation. There's so many. I'll link a few for you, but that is definitely something that you're going to want. Another pro tip, pro remember for you is that you're a human and you're going to accumulate things in your new place. So when you first get there, you want to have the things that are necessary without it being too much. You don't want to bring too much, trust me. The next one is a reusable shopping bag. These are nice and handy. You can bring a lot of them with you in your luggage when you go to move to a new place, and they will really, really come in handy, especially if you move to a country where there's still plastic bags used, or you move to a country where it's really expensive to buy the tote bags or bags in general. You will need these shopping bags and they're really going to help you. Next is adaptable clothing. And I'm going to go a step further and say not only do you want adaptable clothing, but you want only your favorite pieces. This is a really fun part of expatting, and if you do it right, you are going to be really, really pleased with yourself. The very first time that I expatted, I took too much. I had a duffel bag that was full of shoes. I just went completely overboard thinking that I wanted all of these things, and some of the things were new, so I didn't even know if I'd love it yet. By the time I went to the second place, I was still in this huge luggage type of deal, and it was unenjoyable to travel with all of those things. I don't even have, I would say, 20% of those things with me here today, and that just goes to show, although things can get old and worn and things like that, those that do it smart have a wardrobe of pieces that they love and that are functional and are going to be very useful for you in your new place. Be very smart. Be very hard on yourself when you are packing. Do an audit of what you're bringing. look at the country's temperatures, what's going to happen throughout the time that you're there, and just make sure you are ticking off, do I love this? Is it going to work in that place? If you can say that for all of the pieces, bring them. Again, remember that you are going to be buying things in the new place, so you don't want to go overboard. And next, it would be a language tool, specifically if you are going somewhere where the language spoken is different from your own. If you're a native English speaker like me, we do have an advantage that most countries around the world you can communicate in English. Thank you, colonizer England. But it's also a good idea to get to know the language of where you are living and to really communicate with the people in the native language. I'm talking, of course, if the native language is different from English. Although we have phones that are brilliant and can get on Wi-Fi and you can go to Google Translate or even better ones and look things up, sometimes you can't get Wi-Fi when you move somewhere new, or your phone doesn't work yet, or things like that. So invest in something like a language converter, and it's going to heighten everything for you in a brilliant way when you get to the new place. You are going to be someone who looks very, okay, this person is standing out a little bit from the rest because they have something a little extra. I definitely would recommend getting something like this. It used to be a thing where you would bring local currency to wherever you were going. So make sure that you have rupees if you need rupees, euros if you need euros, dollars if you need dollars. We are definitely geared digitally, and so cash can be a thing of the past in some situations, but I really want to bring to your attention that not everywhere around the world is like the place where you are. So you could have a real culture shock where it's like, oh, this place does not take cards at all. It has to be cash. So really just make sure you have something to ensure that you are able to eat when you need to eat, able to buy what you need to buy, have a little bit of cash on you, and look into different apps that can convert for you that might be cheaper, like Revolut or Remitly, and I'm sure there's so many more out there. Caution that digital things are even different in different places. So for example, this is not a cash app, but here in Ireland, people use WhatsApp. Everybody uses WhatsApp. When I go home to the States, everyone's like, WhatsApp? What? No one really uses that. Similarly, Revolut is huge here, whereas back home, people would use Cash App more, or Zelle, or other things. So don't take for granted that you are in a different place. And even though, yes, this is the world, it's a digital world, it might not be the same digital products. So prepare yourself. Cash is always going to be cash. The last thing that I want to say is to pack your bonnet, girl. No, this does not apply to everyone, but for us curlies, for us girls who have textured hair, for us who like to protect our hair at night, you need a bonnet, and not everywhere is going to supply them easily. You will find it probably in any country that you go to, but who knows how long it's going to take you. So pack your bonnet, pack at least 3. So that's it. Those are my top tips for you to take immediately when you go to start your new expat life. I hope that they helped you. Let me know in the comments which you think are the most useful. Let me know what you think I missed off of this list. And don't forget to get involved. Join our community on Patreon. Check out and hit me up on Instagram. Subscribe, because you're part of this community now. Because you watched the video, you're part. And never forget to treat yourself, because you deserve it. I hope you have a fabulous time in your new country. And until next time, love ya. Bye.